we've known each other for a very long time. I met her when she was doing her book tour, and she stopped into Banyan Books in Vancouver, BC. And I just fell for this woman. I was like, oh, she speaks to my heart. I know she sees the truth. And she is a little big spiritual guide for so many. And thank you so much for coming on the show, Kristian.
Oh, I'm so thrilled that we get to do this again. It was so much fun when we met at Banyan, and that was like just a totally different lifetime, it seems. We've both expanded and grown so much, and I'm so stoked that we get to have this conversation today.
Okay, so this is a big one, all right? Mm-hmm. I don't know, we might ruffle some feathers, but we're into some ruffling, right? So tell us a little bit about how this negative agenda so talk a little bit about that negative agenda, and then how it is this beautiful catalyst to our own divine authority.
Yes, so there's so many theories about what's going on right now and so many storylines, and it can get a little bit overwhelming because there's so much information out there. And so what I really want to invite people into is to connect into their deep heart and their own deep knowing, and that the words that I speak today and that we share today opens and activates their own deep knowing within them.
I love
because where I'm coming from is the space that there is an agenda on this earth, and the agenda though is solely to get us back to love and get us back to who we really are. You're seeing my sage smoke here, so
you need to put out a fire. I'm like, oh God, no, I know, it's just so magical. Okay, I'm trying to stay focused. Yes, so the deep, I loved how you said this. So the golden rule is that we start to treat people like the way we want to be treated, and that comes out of our mouth like lip service all the time, but absolutely embodying it to such a deep level where in any moment we are acting in love in ways that how we would want to feel and be with people is what is needed.
100%. And so what this time is bringing up is a lot of divisiveness. So we notice that people like coming at each other and, no, I'm right, no, you're right. And the agenda that's happening on the earth right now is invoking that, because when people get afraid, they go into a fight or flight response. So some people are freezing, right? And they're doing nothing. Other people are fighting. And other people are flight, which is to totally avoid and pretend like nothing's happening. You see a lot of spiritual teachers doing that these days. So it's really important that we check in with ourselves and go, okay, where am I at on that scale? And then how do I show up for this in a way that's not judging where anyone else is at, letting people be where they are, but also being true to where we are meant to be as individuals. Because where we've gotten off track here is that we've been programmed and conditioned to respond to authority in a compliant way. And the message from the higher realms at this stage in the journey is do not comply and do not fight. It's to come into your alignment with who you really are and get clear about what's actually my path forward. What's the way that I can be of greatest service right now? And what's actually true for me? Because you don't have to wear a mask and you don't have to stand 6 feet apart if the other person's okay with that, right? You want to make sure you're honoring the other person. You don't have to close down your business. You don't have to close down your livelihood unless your higher self says that's what you need to do. So we're being asked to come into our divine authority to tune into, wait, what's my body really saying? What's actually true about what's going on right now? What do I need to know, and what can I do to live my true path at this time? We're getting really distorted and getting caught up into, arguments and, no, I'm right, no, you're right. And what we know when we're awakened is that you never argue at the level of complaint. If someone is bringing you a complaint, it's not about the complaint. So on the surface, everyone's saying, oh, it's about this sickness that we could catch and then it could kill us. Don't argue at that level of complaint, because what's really going on is a deep fear that people are having about life and death, right? People don't understand death. They don't understand disease. And the programs that we've been given around that are all meant to keep us in fear and then keep us in this enslaved position with doctors and with authorities. I'm using air quotes because they're not really. It's only the power that we're giving them. We are divine beings of the light, and it's time for us to reclaim our divine authority, be kind to each other, only follow guidelines that are in alignment with our higher self, and to stop putting outside authorities on this pedestal and expecting them to tell us how to be and live in the world. That's not their place.
Okay, so where I'm at on this journey, and I know some people have also expressed this, is like, you know, I haven't been, I'm so blessed, right, to live where I do and have the experience that I'm having. I don't know if I've called that existence in for myself for this lifetime. I have, okay. Yeah. I feel really privileged, honestly, to do this, and I'm so grateful. And I'm sure you feel the same way with where we're at. But I haven't been around anyone who's been sick. I haven't known anyone that's been sick. I haven't seen anybody that's been sick. So it's like, why are we all acting like we're sick? And that's okay. I mean, I get that people are taking precautions, and if you feeling like you're saying, if deep in you saying, no, I need to stay home and I need to, you know, really monitor who I, you know, do that, please. But if there is some of us that are saying, you know, I feel comfortable being in your presence, you're cool with me, let's do what we are feeling we need for are we doing it? I'm not doing it to say that the authority is wrong.
That's right.
It would be coming more from a place of what I feel is right.
That's right. That's right. So when we step into our divine authority, we're not giving our power away. We're actually empowered. So it's disempowered to go and be like, okay, authority, tell me what to do and I'll just follow it blindly. It's empowered to, okay, give me the information. Let me sit with that. Let me meditate on that. Let me take that into my logical mind as well and digest that through the gut brain and get clear on, oh, that actually feels aligned for me. So I'm going to take that action. Or, you know what, that's not feeling right to me. I need to do some more research and get more clear about whatever it is. And then I'll make a decision about the action I'm going to take. So we're being invited into what we would term critical thinking, but it's really just using your head brain, your heart brain, and your gut brain, not just going off of surface information, not just going off of emotion. So a lot of times when we have like a mass sort of hysteria going on, which is what got activated, people are just, they're in fear, they're in fight or flight. You don't have access to your higher brain functioning. You just don't. You've got like a bunch of small children making decisions. And so that's okay, but it's important information to have so that you don't allow yourself to get triggered and go down that pathway. So the message is not to, bypass this as like, oh, this isn't real, whatever. The message is to go within yourself. And that's really where humans struggle going, let's be honest, right? Because they want to go to all the things outside of them. Internet, TV, food, alcohol, cannabis, whatever it is, just don't let me feel whatever is going on. And right now, people are feeling so much fear because there's been so much fear in the collective. Their higher brain function is offline and they're not making healthy decisions. And that goes for the people in charge too. So it's up to each of us as divine beings to go, oh, wait, I'm a brilliant being. I am like wonderfully made. I can make new decisions. I can show up differently. I can do my own research from sources that don't benefit. They're not going to make any money, right? So don't go off of information where people have an interest and an agenda in you believing what they're saying. Find information from non-mainstream sources that feels aligned for you, that resonates with you at a deep level, and then make decisions from there. And then we have like a very different world when we're coming from that place.
Do we ever? So 2 things have come up here. One is, Kristian, can you just talk a little bit about our divinity and a bit about where you believe we've come from or where we are in this time and space? Because I think people just need to hear that and go, oh, does that resonate with me? Yes. Or, oh, no, this lady's a quack.
Totally. And I recommend that anything I say, right? The Buddha said this, he demonstrated this so perfectly, don't believe anything I say or what anyone else says unless it agrees with you at a deep level. So I tell folks, like, you're going to have 1 or 2 reactions to anything I'm saying. And that's going to, 1, be resistance. And so where do people go when they're in resistance? Resistance is fear. But where do people go when they're in resistance? They go to judging, right? Which totally takes them out of responsibility for what's happening. So rather than just judge anything I'm saying or anyone else is saying, go like, whoa, that's an interesting reaction within me. Get curious about it. Go into those emotions. Work with your inner child. Like, let's grow up. Let's learn how to manage our emotions in a way that's not lashing out at people, but actually, wow, I'm having a really strong reaction to that person. I wonder what they're triggering in me. And then have emotional tools and spiritual tools that will help you unwind what's going on. And then you can say, oh, I'm just not a vibrational match with that human, but that's okay. They can do whatever they want, and then we're grown-ups, then we're being adults. So I believe that and what's been shown to me through my spiritual journey is that we are souls that have incarnated into earth bodies, and we've been incarnating into earth bodies for a very long time. And the earth has been in a process of evolving, as has the human animal. And we have reached a point where the earth is no longer willing to carry a lower frequency. So the earth for a long time, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. You can just look at the course of history. People have been killing each other and doing horrible things to each other for so long on earth. And the earth has reached a point where she's like, you know what, I'm actually over this. I'm actually over housing this. I'm ready to go to the next level. And this has been a process, and we could talk about this for a long time. So I'm trying to just bring people up to speed as much as I can with what we're working with. And so now it's time for us to join her, for us to elevate our own frequency and to no longer be living our lives from a place of fear and survival, but to actually live our lives from a place of love and connection and community and peace. And when we do that, we have a totally different world. So all of this chaos that's happening right now is all happening for one reason, and that's to get you to wake up and go, wait, why do I give my power away to the government or to the medical authorities or to my spiritual teacher, to my yoga instructor, to my husband, or to whoever? Why am I giving my power away? What is that about? And to go within and do your deeper work so that you can create a life that is steeped in love and peace and prosperity and miracles. That's what we came for. And we've been coming back for many lifetimes to try to get here. And now we're here. But we have free will. So if the masses choose to keep going in the fear cycle, then that's a choice that they'll keep playing out. More of us can choose love, and more of us can choose to create lives of love. And then we're not doing any of the things that are happening right now. What's happening right now is a fear-based, survival-based model playing out. We have to choose not to play the game and play the game better. Really, if we're going to play it, let's play a new game, and that game is love and peace. And let's not play the fear survival game, because it's bullshit. It's not even real.
So the other question that comes up, weird ass feedback. You can hear that, right? There's like another entity on this call with us. And I was just maybe, well, we should talk about that too. I was just going to say the idea of people really asking themselves questions, like you said, there's been a barrier around that for a while, for a few of the collective that are we're all sharing one consciousness is my feeling around what we've all created here. And a lot of us are not asking those deeper questions, are going within it. It's like, let's reach for the outside for any kind of soothing or answer, correct? So when somebody is going, oh shit, okay, so Kristian is asking me to go within, like, how do they start? How do they start to listen? How do they know what to trust? What voice they're supposed to tap into?
Great question. So it takes time, but we have time. So, a day is going to go by, a week's going to go by, a month's going to go by, a year's going to go by. We might as well use it. And the first way that you can start to do this is, one, just make the intention. I want to hear my deeper wisdom, and I want to be guided by that. And we actually, I keep pointing to my chest here, but we actually enter that connection with our deeper wisdom through the heart gate. So you can just place your hands on your heart. And I have a tool that I give to folks of just, to connect in deeply to the heart center and just say, my intention is to make decisions from this place from here on out. And then meditate every single day for at least 11 minutes and just be with your heart and just, I'm willing to have you open. I'm willing to know divine truth. I'm willing to see clearly. I'm willing to see past my egoic illusions. I am willing. And that just begins to activate divine forces all around you to begin to support you. And you can start calling on your higher self, which is your true self that's accessed through the heart gate. This is the non-physical part of you that's connected to God energy, if that's what you want to call it, or divine energy, that knows why you're here, that knows why you're dealing with this time in consciousness, that knows how you're meant to show up for this time in consciousness. It knows your divine purpose. So you can start calling on your higher self. Please guide me, please direct me, please make it crystal clear my next steps and what I need to be doing and how I need to be showing up for this time in consciousness. Please bring me the teachers, the spiritual texts, the tools that I need so that I can really live my most fulfilling life yet, even in all of this. And then stay out of all of this, because you don't solve it at the level of complaint. You never solve anything by going into the level of complaint. You have to go deeper. What's really going on here? Am I in fear and survival? Then I've got some work to do around that. And am I in judgment and anger? And I've got some work to do around that. And that's not negative. That's just life.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And guess what? You're going to go through all of the feels, like I was saying earlier. It's like, yeah, you could feel some anger and you could feel some fear and you could feel the freeze. And then and that is cool. That is the whole part of being human. But it's learning how to work through those and not attach yourself to it or go down in like a deep ass sinking ship of like not being able to find your power right within.
That's right. And I see Linda's asking about if someone hasn't meditated before and it's new, how to start. Linda and everyone who's asking that question, brilliant question. It's so easy. There's so much misinformation about meditation. Like it has to be like there's no thoughts in your mind or anything. It's like virtually impossible. So that's not what we're going for. I've been meditating every day since 2008 and it's a different experience every day. So to start, all you have to do is set your timer for 11 minutes. Put on some music that's like ambient music. I really recommend like 432 hertz, which is the healing sound tone of nature, or 528, which is DNA repair. So you can find those on YouTube, just a quick YouTube search. You can pull up some nice ambient music, set your timer for 11 minutes, close your eyes, place your hands, palms facing up on your legs. Yeah, exactly. It's so easy to find that. And you don't need to sit cross-legged. In fact, I recommend not having your body crossed so that your channel is really clear. Your palms are up. You're willing to receive guidance from your higher self. And you just close your eyes and you just focus on your breath or focus on the music, whatever's easiest to you. And all kinds of stuff's going to come in. Oh, you need to do this. Oh, you forgot to call Linda, whatever it is. And you just keep coming back. Just keep coming back to the breath. And you just do that every day. I started in 2008, just doing it every day. And now I meditate, sometimes for a couple of hours if I need to. Now when I meditate, I get guidance and answers from my higher self and my team. It just takes time though. So people often are like, oh, I just want to jump to that. Well, I've been meditating every day for 12 years. I mean, it just takes a second, so give yourself that time and space. But once you start, and we're in an accelerated time right now. So the people who are willing to dive in with their spiritual practice and their emotional healing work are seeing results so quickly. My clients now who are coming in that have just newly awakened are just having shifts so fast because the energy is accelerated right now. So if you're willing and if you will show up every day, you'll have transformation and you will live a beautiful, miraculous, fulfilling life, even when there's, nonsense going on around you.
Doesn't even matter what's going on around you. Yeah, exactly. Now, question about just that frequency interruption that I've heard a few times. Do you believe in other realms or different entities or spiritual? Yeah, there's stuff going on. There's things happening.
100%. So Earth plane is the only plane of consciousness. So there's many planes of consciousness. We're just one of many. And the Earth plane is the only plane of consciousness where you have a spirit team. So every single human has guides, spirit guides, and angels that have been assigned to help them. Now, why is that? Because Earth has a negative agenda and we've got to navigate it. And how do we navigate this? My team calls it this is like a choose your own adventure, obstacle course, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego game that we're playing. So you've got team members that are non-physical team members that will give you clues, they leave you numbers, they leave you signs, they leave you messages, synchronicities. So a lot of times when I'm doing this these kind of interviews, if the frequency is really high, we'll have like these weird feedback or weird things. It's just because we're activating a high dimension, a high frequency of energy. And so we just say, hey guys, what's up? Thanks for being here, and it's not a thing. You just have to roll with it. But sometimes our frequency is higher than the frequency of the internet. And so that happens sometimes.
I love it. There it is again. Oh, can you hear it? Oh,
I just hear like a little bit of an echo, but that's it.
It's hilarious and cool. Thank you so much for showing up. Okay, so I just want to say how much I adore you and really honor the work that you've not only done for yourself, but how you've just kept evolving and growing and changing, as we all need to do with the times and with our own like elevation of understanding and vibe, right? And I just want my audience to know, because I have a lot of women who have businesses, and a lot of times they're afraid to like shape shift or like change sort of their direction, or really tap into the alignment of their own spirituality and bring that forth in a really confident, certain way. And I just want you to know that I've really noticed how you've embraced that within yourself through each of your stages, and how this is how it needs to be. I feel like really the earth plane, or our divinity, is really calling us to really step in a different way when it comes to business. And it's not about the money, it's about how we collectively heal and work with each other in a way that everyone has the opportunity to express and feel fulfilled in their own life purpose.
Absolutely. I mean, prosperity is a really big topic, especially with spirituality. It brings up a lot for people, but I've been on that journey, obviously, since starting my official spiritual business in 2012. And there's a lot I could speak to that. But the one thing I will say is to remember, ladies, that you work for source. And your service work is doing whatever your specific modality is or whatever your specific gift is. But ultimately, who pays you is source. And that money can come from anywhere. And the more that you work on your wealth consciousness, which is directly linked to your self-esteem and your self-confidence and your self-love, the more that it just doesn't matter. Money comes to you from everywhere. And it's a beautiful, amazing thing. And there's a lot that will be changing with these shifts that are happening around how we do business and how we interact with money. And I'm, really excited to support my community on that and to share that wisdom, because it's only going to keep getting better when we surrender more and more into our spirituality and our connection with the divine.
Okay, and I know we said it like 8 years ago, but I really think we need to do a retreat or some kind of like healing circle together in person, whether it's over in BC, because I know you love it over here, or over your way. I would really love to put that into the ethos to hopefully do. Okay, so if anybody here wants to be in Kristian's world, I highly recommend it. I will put her link, kristianstrang.com, in the comments below. She has so many lovely groups and activities and things you can do. She has just so much to offer. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. So much love to all of you ladies on this journey. Don't be in fear. Trust your inner guidance. Keep moving forward. Keep businessing. Keep doing what you love. Don't believe all the nonsense. You're bigger than all of that.
Boom. I mean, really, that's it in a nutshell. Thank you, girl. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to talk to you for a couple seconds.
Okay. Lots of love.
Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Woohoo!